Captain Jake Morrison sat in his chair on the bridge of the U.S. Liberty. He looked at the screen showing the small blue planet below. Earth looked peaceful from space. White clouds moved slowly over green and brown land. The ocean sparkled blue. In the sunlight, Jake pressed a button on his control panel. A red light came on, showing he was recording. He cleared his throat and began to speak. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earthship Liberty. We represent the planet Earth and all the people who live here. We come in peace. We want to be friends with other races in the galaxy. We have much to learn and hope to share what we know. Jake paused and looked around the bridge. His crew nodded at him. They had worked on this message for months. Every word was chosen carefully. This was humanity's first message to alien races. We are sending our location and basic information about our world. We hope you will visit us or let us visit you. We believe all intelligent life can work together. Thank you for listening. Jake pressed the button again. The red light went off. The message was done. Now they had to wait. Send it out on all frequencies, Jake told his communication officer. Lieutenant Amy Foster. Yes, sir, Amy said. Her fingers moved quickly over her controls. Message sent. It's going out to every corner of the galaxy. 3 weeks passed. Jake and his crew waited every day for an answer. Then it came. The main screen on the bridge lit up. A horrible sound filled the room. It was laughter, but not human laughter. This sound was cold and mean. It made Jake's skin crawl. The laughter went on for several minutes. Then a voice spoke. It was deep and rough, like rocks grinding together. Soft pink things from a tiny world want to be friends, the voice said. More laughter followed. These creatures think they matter. They think we care about their friendship. Jake felt his hands make fists. His crew looked angry too. The voice continued. I am Admiral Kethver of the Zephyrian Empire. We rule this galaxy. We are the hunters. We are the strong. You are nothing. A picture appeared on the screen. Jake tried not to show his fear. The creature was huge, maybe 8 feet tall. Its skin was dark green with black spots. Sharp teeth filled its mouth. Its eyes were yellow and cold. Long claws extended from its fingers. Your world looks soft and weak, Admiral Kethver said. Your message makes us laugh. You want peace? There is no peace for prey animals. You want friendship? Predators do not make friends with food. More alien voices joined in the laughter. Jake could see other creatures in the background. One looked like a giant insect with cutting blades for arms. Another looked like a wolf, but walked on 2 legs and was covered in metal armor. We have received many messages like yours, Admiral. Kethvar continued. Every weak race sends the same words. Peace, friendship, learning. Then we visit their worlds. We show them the truth. The strong eat the weak. The hunters kill the prey. This is the way of the galaxy. Jake wanted to respond, but he knew he should listen first. He needed to understand what humanity was facing. Your planet will make good hunting, another voice said. This one sounded like clicking sounds mixed with words. Soft creatures that? Walk on 2 legs. They will run well. They will scream nicely. I claim first hunting rights, a third voice howled. My pack needs new prey. These humans look tasty. The screen showed more aliens now. Each one was different, but they all looked dangerous. They all had weapons. They all had the look of creatures that killed for fun. We will visit your world. Soon, Admiral Kethver said. Prepare your people. Some will die quickly. Others will die slowly. A few might live long enough to serve us. This is more kindness than we usually show. The transmission ended. The bridge was quiet for a long moment. Sir? Amy asked. Should we respond? Jake thought carefully. These aliens saw humans as prey animals. They thought Earth was weak. They planned to come and hunt people for sport. Send a message to Earth Command, Jake said. Priority Alpha. Tell them we have made contact with hostile alien forces. They see us as prey. They plan to invade. Yes, sir, Amy said. Jake looked at the screen showing Earth again. His home world looked so peaceful. Most people down there had no idea what was coming. They did not know that somewhere in space, alien predators were planning to hunt them. But Jake knew something the aliens did not know. Humans were not just prey animals. They had survived on Earth for thousands of years. Earth was not a soft, easy world. It was a world of storms and earthquakes. A world of deserts and frozen lands. A world where only the strong survived. The aliens thought they were hunters coming to find easy prey. They would learn they were wrong. Humans had been fighting to survive since the beginning. They knew how to fight back. Jake pressed his communication button again. This is Captain Morrison to all Earth forces. We are not alone in the galaxy, and we are not welcome. Prepare for war. Lieutenant Colonel Sam Rodriguez stood on the observation deck of Space Station Alpha. He looked out at the dark space beyond Earth's moon. For 6 months, he had been waiting for this moment. Today, the alien hunters were coming. Colonel, we have contacts, Sergeant Kate Williams reported from her position at the radar station. Multiple large objects dropping out of faster-than-light travel. Sam picked up his binoculars and looked toward the moon. At first, he saw nothing. Then, one by one, huge shapes appeared against the stars. They were not like human ships. These vessels looked alive, like giant sea creatures swimming through space. How many? Sam asked. 12 confirmed, sir, Kate replied. Each one is over 2 miles long. They're taking position around the moon. Sam counted the ships himself. Each one was bigger than anything humans had ever built. They moved in a way that made his stomach feel sick. The ships twisted and turned like living animals, not machines. Get me General Collins on the communication line, Sam ordered. The general's face appeared on the main screen. He looked tired. For 6 months, every military leader on Earth had been preparing for this day. They're here, Sam, General Collins said. Our space telescopes show the same thing. 12 bioships, just like our intelligence predicted. Sam nodded. Earth's spy satellites had been watching alien movements in nearby star systems. The humans had learned that the Zephyrian Empire used living ships grown from alien creatures. These ships could heal themselves and grow new weapons. Sir, we're receiving a transmission, Kate announced. Put it on the main screen, Sam said. The image that appeared made Sam's blood run cold. The alien was even more frightening in person than in the first transmission. War Alpha Drekthu of the Threnody looked like a giant wolf crossed with a machine. Metal plates covered parts of his fur. His teeth were sharp metal points. His eyes glowed red. Humans of Earth, Drekthu said, his voice a low growl. I am War Alpha Drekthu. I lead the greatest hunting pack in the galaxy. Your world is now our hunting ground. Behind Drekthu, Sam could see other aliens. They were all different species, but they all looked like killing machines. One had 4 arms, each ending in razor-sharp claws. Another had a mouth full of needle-like teeth and eyes that moved independently of each other. We have studied your world, Drekthu continued. Your cities are mapped. Your military bases are identified. Your population centers are marked for hunting. Sam clenched his fists. The aliens talked about human cities like they were talking about animal herds. You have 72 hours to prepare, Drekthu announced. Some of you should run. Running makes the hunt more fun. Some of you should hide. Finding hidden prey is exciting. Some of you should fight. Fighting prey dies more gloriously. Another alien stepped forward. This one looked like a giant mantis, but walked on two legs. Its blade-like arms clicked together as it spoke. "I am Huntmaster Velkara," it said in a voice like breaking glass. "My kind has hunted on 1,000 worlds. Your species shows promise. You have basic tool use. You have some intelligence. You might provide sport for several days before extinction." Sam wanted to respond, but he remembered his orders. Earth's leaders had decided not to communicate with the aliens. Let them think humans were too scared to talk. "My scouts are already mapping your terrain," Velkara continued. "Your forests will make good hunting grounds. Your cities will provide interesting chase scenarios. Your mountains will test our climbing skills." The largest alien pushed forward. This was Admiral Kethver, the one who had sent the first mocking message. He was even bigger than he had appeared before. "Humans," Kethver said, "you should feel honored. The Zephyrian Empire rarely hunts personally. Usually, we let our servant races clear worlds for us, but your message amused us. Creatures that talk about peace and friendship make the best sport." Sam watched as the aliens continued their broadcast. They were not trying to scare humans. They were genuinely excited about the coming hunt. To them, this was entertainment. "We will establish forward bases on your moon," Kethvar announced. "From there, we will launch hunting parties to your world. Different terrains will test different hunting skills. The Amazon forest for stealth hunting. The African plains for pack hunting. The Arctic regions for endurance hunting." The transmission showed views of Earth from space. Red markers appeared over major cities and natural areas. The aliens had planned everything. "Your weapons are primitive," Drekthu added. "Your technology is limited. You have no space fleet worth mentioning. This will be a perfect hunt for training young hunters." Sam saw movement on the screen. Smaller ships were detaching from the main vessels. These ships looked like living pods or eggs. They flew toward the moon and began landing on its surface. "Colonel," Kate reported, "we're detecting major construction. Activity on the lunar surface. They're building something big." Sam used his binoculars to look at the moon. Even from Earth's distance, he could see lights appearing on the moon's dark side. The aliens were working fast. "Sir, incoming message from Earth Command," another officer announced. General Collins appeared on a side screen. "Sam, satellite imagery. Shows they're building hunting platforms on the moon. Launch sites for their raiding parties. We estimate they'll be ready to begin surface operations within 48 hours. Sam nodded. Everything was happening as Earth's military leaders had predicted. The aliens were confident. They saw humans as simple prey animals. They were taking their time, setting up properly for a fun hunt. "Any word from the other defense stations?" Sam asked. "All stations report the same thing," General Collins replied. "The aliens are ignoring our military installations. They don't see us as a threat. They think we're just animals to be hunted." Sam looked out at the alien ships again. They moved slowly around the moon, like sharks circling wounded fish. The aliens were in no hurry. They had all the time in the world. But Sam knew something the aliens did not know. For 6 months, human military forces had been preparing, not to fight a war in space, where the aliens were stronger, but to fight a war on Earth, where humans knew every mountain, every forest, every desert. The aliens thought they were coming to hunt prey. They would discover they were walking into a trap set by the most dangerous predators in the galaxy. Predators who had learned to hunt on a world that tried to kill them every day. Marine Captain Tony Miller crouched behind a fallen tree in the Amazon rainforest. Sweat ran down his face, but he did not move. He had been in this position for 3 hours, waiting. Around him, 20 other Marines waited in hidden positions. Through his binoculars, Tony could see the alien landing site. 3 large pods had crashed through the forest canopy 2 hours ago. The trees around the pods were burned and broken. Steam rose from the hot metal. "Contact," whispered Sergeant Ben Parker through Tony's earpiece. Movement at the first pod. Tony shifted his binoculars. A pod was opening like a giant flower. Something big was climbing out. Tony's breath caught in his throat. The creature was Hunt Leader Morgax of the Korthax race. It stood 8 feet tall and looked like a giant lizard that walked on 2 legs. Its skin was dark green with bright yellow spots that glowed in the forest shadows. When it moved, muscles rippled under its thick hide. More aliens climbed out of. The other pods. Tony counted 12 of them. Each one carried weapons that looked like they had been grown rather than built. The weapons pulsed with their own inner light. "Look at those idiots," Ben whispered over the radio. "They're glowing. Like Christmas trees." Tony had to agree. The aliens' bright skin patterns made them easy to see in the dark forest. On their homeworld, these displays probably scared other creatures. In the Amazon, they made perfect targets. Hunt Leader Morgax raised his weapon and fired it into the air. A bright energy bolt shot up through the forest canopy. Birds flew away, screaming. Monkeys chattered in fear. The alien seemed pleased by the reaction. "Humans of this region," Morgax called out in his deep voice, "we are here to hunt you. Run now and make this interesting for us. Hide well and live a few minutes longer. Fight us and die with honor." The other aliens spread out into the forest. They moved confidently, making no effort to be quiet. Their heavy feet crushed plants and snapped branches. They talked to each other in loud voices, discussing which direction their prey might have. Tony smiled grimly. These aliens were good hunters on their own worlds, but they knew nothing about the Amazon. They were walking through the forest like tourists, not predators. "Alpha Team report," Tony whispered into his radio. "In position on the north side," came the reply from Corporal Lisa Hayes. "I count 4 aliens moving this way. They're being very noisy. Bravo Team?" "South side is covered," reported Private First Class Dan Cooper. 3 aliens heading toward the river. They don't know we're here." Tony waited. The aliens had to come closer before his team could strike. The Amazon was perfect for ambush tactics. Thick trees provided cover. Hanging vines blocked sight lines. The forest floor was covered with leaves that muffled sound. Hunt Leader Morgax moved toward Tony's position. The alien's yellow spots pulsed brighter as he got excited about the hunt. He held his energy weapon ready and turned his head from side to side, listening for sounds. Tony held his breath. The alien passed within 10 feet of his hiding spot. Morgax stopped and sniffed the air. His forked tongue flicked out to taste scents. "I smell you, humans," Morgax said softly. "Your fear has a sweet odor. Come out and face me. Death will be quicker if you show courage." Tony remained perfectly still. He had trained in the Amazon for years. He knew how to become part of the forest. The alien could smell humans in the area, but he could not locate them exactly. Morgax grew impatient. He fired his weapon at a bush where he thought humans might be hiding. The energy bolt burned through leaves and branches, but hit nothing important. "Now," Tony whispered into his radio. 20 Marines opened fire at the same moment. The forest filled with the sound of gunfire. The aliens had never heard human weapons before. The sharp cracks of rifle fire were completely different from their energy weapons. Humming sounds. Hunt Leader Morgax spun around as bullets struck his thick hide. His armor protected him from some shots, but others found gaps and drew bright. Blue blood. He roared in anger and surprise. "Impossible," Morgax snarled. "Prey animals do not attack hunters." Tony's team moved through the forest like ghosts. They fired from one position then quickly moved to another. The aliens tried to return fire, but their energy weapons were designed for single targets. The humans attacked from everywhere at once. 2 aliens went down under the concentrated fire. Their glowing spots flickered and went dark as they died. The others tried to group together for defense, but the thick forest made it hard to see each other. "They have weapons," one alien called out in panic. "The prey has weapons." "All prey has claws and teeth," Morgax replied, but he sounded less confident. "We are still the hunters." Tony's Marines continued their attack pattern. Shoot and move. Shoot and move. The aliens could not get a clear shot at targets that appeared and disappeared like spirits. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Staff Sergeant Kate Williams was having her own encounter with alien hunters. She lay flat on her stomach on a rocky hill in the Australian outback. The red sand was hot against her skin, but she ignored the discomfort. Below her, Huntress Zarthik of the Valkyrie had landed with her hunting swarm. The insect-like aliens moved across the desert in formation, their blade arms clicking rhythmically. They thought the open ground would make hunting easy. Kate smiled. The aliens saw empty desert. They did not see the carefully prepared fighting positions. They did not see the explosive charges buried in the sand. They did not see the sniper. Nests built into rock formations. "Target the leader first," Kate whispered to her spotter, Corporal Rick Foster. "Roger that," Rick replied. "Range 800 meters. Wind from the east at 5 knots. Kate adjusted her rifle scope. Huntress. Zarthik was easy to spot. She was larger than the other Valkyrie, and her chitin armor was decorated with trophies from previous hunts. Kate took a slow breath and squeezed the trigger. The high-powered rifle bullet crossed the desert in less than a second. It struck Zarthik in the center of her chest, right between her armor plates. The alien huntress stumbled and fell. Blue blood spread across the red sand. The other Valkyrie rushed to help their leader, but she was already dead. What was that? One of the Valkyrie chittered in their clicking language. What kind of weapon has such range? The aliens had never encountered sniper rifles before. Their own weapons required close range. They could not understand how prey could kill from such a distance. Kate's team opened fire from multiple positions. The Valkyrie found themselves taking casualties from enemies they could not see. They tried to charge toward the nearest gun flash, but hidden explosives turned their attack into a disaster. In Siberia, Sergeant Major Dan Cooper was facing pack leader Vorthik and his wolf-like hunters. The Threnody had expected the frozen wilderness to slow down human prey. Instead, they found themselves struggling with cold that penetrated even their thick fur. Dan and his mixed team of Russian and American soldiers moved through the snow like it was their natural environment. They wore white camouflage that made them invisible against the winter landscape. Their weapons were designed to work in extreme cold. The Threnody pack tried to use their coordinated hunting tactics, but the humans fought with a level of teamwork the aliens had never seen. Every Marine knew exactly where his teammates were. Every soldier could predict what his comrades would do next. "These are not prey animals," Pack Leader Vorthak snarled as human fire tore through his pack. "These are predators." For the first time in galactic history, the hunters had become the hunted. The aliens who had terrorized 1,000 worlds were learning what it meant to face Earth's children on their home ground. Admiral Kethver stood in the command center of his bioship. Around him, screens showed the disaster unfolding on Earth's surface. Red warning lights flashed throughout the organic walls of the vessel. The ship itself seemed to tremble with distress. "Report," Kethver demanded, his voice tight with anger. Communications. Officer Zektar's hands shook as he operated his controls. "Sir, we have lost contact with 60% of our hunting parties. The remaining units are requesting immediate extraction. Cuthbert's yellow eyes narrowed. Extraction? They are requesting to retreat from prey animals. Sir, the humans are not behaving like prey, Sektar replied carefully. They are actively hunting our forces. They are using tactics we have never encountered. On the main screen, a transmission came in from Hunt Leader Morgax in the Amazon. The proud Korthax warrior was crouched behind a fallen log, blue blood running from multiple wounds. His glowing skin patterns flickered weakly. "Command, this is Morgax," he gasped. "The humans have surrounded my position. They move through the forest like shadows. Their weapons strike from distances we cannot match. Request immediate support." Cuthbert felt a chill run down his spine. Morgax was one of the Empire's best hunters. If he was asking for help, the situation was worse than anyone had imagined. "Denied," Cuthbert replied. "You are a hunter of the Zephyrian Empire. Find a way to complete your mission." But even as he spoke, Cuthbert watched Morgax's size life signs go dark on the monitoring system. The hunt leader was dead. Meanwhile, on Earth, Colonel Jack Roberts coordinated the global resistance from a command bunker deep underground, banks of fines. Computers showed the status of human forces around the world. Green lights indicated successful engagements. Red lights showed areas where aliens had landed. "Sir, the aliens are attempting to regroup," Major Amy Foster reported from her position at the tactical display. "They're pulling back to defensive positions," Jack nodded. "Phase 2 is working. They came here expecting to hunt scattered prey. Instead, they're facing coordinated military resistance. The plan had been months in the making. Instead of trying to fight the aliens in space, where humanity was outmatched, Earth's military had allowed them to land. Then human forces used their knowledge of local terrain to turn every landing site into a killing ground. What's the status in the Himalayas?" Jack asked. Captain Rachel Moore's voice came through the communication system. She was leading mountain warfare specialists against a Korthax hunting party that had landed at high altitude. "The aliens are struggling with the thin air," Rachel reported. "Their enhanced physiology works against them here. They need more oxygen than we do, but their larger body size makes them consume it faster." Jack smiled grimly. The aliens had evolved on worlds with thick atmospheres. Earth's mountains were slowly suffocating them. They tried to use the high ground as an advantage, Rachel continued. "But we've been training in these mountains for years. We know every trail, every cave, every avalanche zone." As if to emphasize her point, a distant rumble came through the communication system. Rachel had triggered a controlled avalanche that buried half the alien hunting party. In Detroit, Sergeant First Class Ben Parker was having even more success. The ruined industrial city had become a maze of ambush points and sniper nests. The Velkari hunting swarm that had landed there was being systematically destroyed. "These bugs thought they could use the urban environment to corner us," Ben reported to command. "They don't understand that humans built these cities. We know every building, every sewer tunnel, every fire escape." Ben's urban warfare unit moved through the ruins like they owned them. Every abandoned factory became a fortress. Every collapsed building became a sniper's nest. Every street became a trap. The Velkari found their swarm tactics useless in the Yalsazi. Close quarters. Their blade arms, so effective in open combat, became liabilities in narrow spaces. Human soldiers appeared from unexpected directions, struck hard, and disappeared before the aliens could react. Dr. Helen Carter watched the battle reports from her laboratory. As Earth's leading expert on alien biology, she had been studying the invaders since their arrival. "Colonel Roberts," she called over the communication system. "I'm seeing something important in the combat data." "What is it, Doctor?" Jack replied. "These alien species are all specialists," Helen explained. Each race evolved to be perfect hunters in their specific environment. The Korthax dominate through strength and intimidation. The Velkari use swarm tactics and cutting weapons. The Threnody rely on pack coordination. Jack studied the tactical displays, and the problem with being specialists. They can't adapt when their preferred tactics don't work, Helen continued. Humans evolved differently. We're generalists. We learned to survive in every environment Earth could throw at us. Deserts, jungles, mountains, Arctic wastelands. We adapted to all of them. The truth was becoming clear. The aliens had conquered other worlds by facing species that were adapted to single environments. When removed from their preferred terrain, those species became helpless, but humans thrived in hostile environments. They turned disadvantages into weapons. In the Arctic, the Threnody Pack was learning this lesson the hard way. Pack leader Vorthek had brought his best hunters to the frozen wasteland, expecting the cold to drive human prey into the open where they could be easily caught. Instead, Sergeant Major Dan Cooper and his team used the blizzard as cover. They moved through conditions that would kill most sentient beings, striking at the alien pack and vanishing into the swirling snow. These humans fight like the ice itself, one of Vorthek's hunters reported over the pack communication system. They appear from nowhere, strike, and disappear. It is as if the frozen wasteland is alive and hunting us. Vorthek's pack coordination, so effective on other worlds, meant nothing when they could not see each other through the storm. Human soldiers picked off isolated aliens one by one. Command, Vorthek transmitted to the ships in orbit. The humans are not prey. They are predators. They use this hostile world as a weapon against us. Admiral Kethfor received similar reports from every hunting party. His forces were not just losing. They were being systematically hunted and destroyed by creatures they had dismissed as harmless prey. Sir, Communications Officer Zektar reported. We're receiving a transmission from the human military. Put it through, Kethfor ordered. Colonel Jack Roberts appeared on the screen. He looked calm and confident, nothing like the cowering prey animal Kethfor had expected. Admiral Kethfor, Jack said politely, I believe you came here to hunt humans. How is that working out for you? Kethfor felt rage building in his chest. You think your small victories matter, human? We have ships that can burn your entire world. You could, Jack agreed, but then you would not have the hunting reserve you wanted, and your forces on the ground would die with us. Kethfor looked at his tactical displays. Half his hunting parties were dead or missing. The others were pinned down and taking heavy casualties. The humans had turned his invasion into a disaster. Besides, Jack continued, your hunters came here for sport. Where is the sport in orbital bombardment? Your warriors wanted to prove they were the galaxy's apex predators. So far, they're proving the opposite. The transmission ended. Kethfor stared at the blank screen, his mind racing. Everything he thought he knew about predator and prey was being challenged by these impossible creatures from a death world. War Alpha Drekthu stood among the ruins of what had once been called Times Square. His red eyes scanned the broken buildings and empty streets of New York City. This was supposed to be the final hunt, the great battle that would restore the honor of the Zephyrian Empire. Around him, the last of the alien hunters had gathered. Survivors from the Amazon, the outback, the mountains, and the frozen wastes had all come to this place. They were wounded, angry, and desperate to prove they were still the galaxy's apex predators. This ends today, Drekthu growled to his assembled forces. The humans have been lucky. They used their knowledge of terrain against us. But here, in their own nest, we will show them the true meaning of fear. Behind him, Huntmaster Velkara clicked her blade arms together nervously. Half her swarm was dead. The survivors looked at the empty city with suspicion. Something is wrong, Velkara chittered. Where are the humans? This city should have millions of inhabitants. Admiral Kethfer's voice came through their communication devices. Intelligence reports indicate this is one of their major population centers. The humans have gathered here to make their final stand, but the city was too quiet, too empty. Aliens had expected to find humans running in panic through the streets. Instead, they found only silence and shadows. Drakethu raised his energy rifle and fired at a nearby building. The blast shattered windows and sent debris raining down. The sound echoed through the empty streets. "Humans," Drakethu howled. "Come out and face us. Your running is over. Your hiding is finished. Today, you learn why the galaxy fears the Zephyrian Empire." From high above, in a building 30 stories up, Major Chris Thompson watched through his rifle scope. Around him, sniper teams were positioned throughout the city's remaining skyscrapers. Every window could hide a human soldier. Every rooftop could conceal a weapon. "All units, this is Overwatch," Chris whispered into his radio. "Targets are in the kill zone. Begin Phase 1. The first shots came from everywhere at once. Muzzle. Flashes lit up windows across the city as human snipers opened fire. The aliens found themselves taking hits from directions they had not even considered. Drakethu spun around as a bullet sparked off his metal armor. "Above us," he snarled. "They're in the tall structures." But when the aliens looked up, they saw hundreds of windows. Any one of them could hide a sniper. The humans had turned the entire city into a giant shooting gallery. "Spread out," Belcara ordered her remaining swarm. "Take cover and advance on the buildings." The aliens tried to move to safety, but there was no safety. Every doorway could hide an ambush. Every alley could be a trap. Every pile of rubble could conceal explosives. Sergeant First Class Ben Parker emerged from a subway entrance behind the alien formation. He carried a rocket launcher and wore the biggest grin of his military career. "Hey, ugly," Ben called out to the nearest Valkyrie. "Welcome to New York." He fired the rocket into the center of the alien group. The explosion sent bodies flying in all directions. Before the smoke cleared, Ben had disappeared back into the underground tunnels. The aliens tried to pursue, but the subway system was a maze that stretched for hundreds of miles under the city. Human soldiers used the tunnels to move unseen from one fighting position to another. "This is impossible," Drakethu raged. "Prey animals do not set traps for hunters." "Sir," one of his Threnody packmates reported, "we're taking casualties from all directions. The humans have weapons positioned throughout the city." General Pete Collins watched the battle from his command bunker. Every screen showed the systematic destruction of the alien forces. The trap was working perfectly. Phase 2, General Collins ordered. Throughout the city, human soldiers emerged from hidden positions. They came from sewers, from building basements, from subway tunnels. The aliens suddenly found themselves surrounded by armed humans who knew every inch of the urban battlefield. Captain Amy Foster led her team up from the subway system. They moved through the ruins with practiced ease, striking at the aliens and disappearing before they could respond. "The intel was right," Amy reported over her radio. "These things are tough individually, but they don't adapt well to changing tactics." The aliens had spent their entire existence as apex predators. They had never learned to be prey. When humans started hunting them, they did not know how to respond. Drakethu tried to rally his forces, but the situation was hopeless. Everywhere he looked, more humans appeared. They moved through the urban terrain like they were born to it, because they were. "All units, retreat to the landing zone," Drakethu ordered. "We need extraction." But there was no safe path to retreat. Human forces had positioned themselves to control every route out of the city. The aliens were trapped in a maze of their own making. Major Chris Thompson's voice came over loudspeakers throughout the city. Attention, alien forces. You came here to hunt humans. Congratulations, you found us. The word sent a chill through every surviving alien. They had been so focused on being hunters that they had forgotten something important. On a world as dangerous as Earth, everything was both predator and prey. Admiral Kethver watched the destruction from orbit. His tactical displays showed the complete collapse of his hunting forces. Red icons marked dead hunters. Yellow icons showed wounded aliens trying to escape. Green icons, representing healthy hunters, had almost disappeared from the screen. Sir, Communications Officer Zektar reported, his voice shaking. War Alpha Drekthu is requesting immediate extraction. His forces are taking 90% casualties. Kethver stared at the screen in disbelief. The greatest hunters in the galaxy were being slaughtered by creatures they had dismissed as prey animals. Sir, Zektar continued, the humans are broadcasting. On all frequencies. Put it through. Kethver ordered. Captain Jake Morrison appeared on the screen. He was the same human who had sent the first peaceful message months ago. But now he looked different. His eyes were hard and cold. Admiral Kethver, Jake said calmly. I believe you said we were soft. You said we were prey. You said you would hunt us for sport. Kethver said nothing. Around him, his bridge crew watched in stunned silence. Your hunters are dying on our world, Jake continued. Not because we are cruel, not because we enjoy killing, but because this is what survival looks like on Earth. On the tactical display, Kethver could see the final moments of the battle in New York. Drake Thu and his last few warriors were surrounded in a plaza. Human soldiers closed in from all sides. You see, Admiral, Jake explained, you made one critical mistake. You assumed that because we wanted peace, we were weak. You thought that because we offered friendship, we could not fight. Drake Thu's final transmission came through the communication system. The War Alpha was wounded and breathing heavily. Command, Drake Thu gasped. The humans are not prey. They are the deadliest predators I have ever encountered. They turned their entire world into a weapon. Every environment, every terrain, every structure becomes a tool for killing. You chose to hunt us on our home world, Jake continued. Earth is not a paradise, Admiral. Earth is a death world. For millions of years, everything on this planet has been trying to kill everything else. We did not evolve to be the strongest. We evolved to be the most adaptable. The last alien signal from the surface went dark. Or Alpha Drekthu was dead. Our storms can sink ships. Our earthquakes can level cities. Our volcanoes can block out the sun. Our ice ages can freeze continents. Our deserts can cook flesh from bones, Jake said. And we learned to survive all of it. Dr. Helen Carter's voice joined the transmission. Admiral, your species are apex predators from stable worlds. You evolved to dominate single environments. Humans evolved to survive in all environments. When you brought your hunters to Earth, you brought specialists to fight generalists on the generalists' home ground. Kethver finally found his voice. What do you want? Nothing, Jake replied. We told you that in our first message. We wanted friendship. We wanted peace. We wanted to learn and share knowledge. Then why did you slaughter our hunters? Because you forced us to, Jake answered simply. You came to our world to kill our people. We defended ourselves. That is what Earth teaches its children. Adapt or die. General Pete Collins appeared on the screen next to Jake. Admiral, your hunters are dead. Your invasion has failed. You have two choices. You can leave our system immediately, or you can try to fight us from orbit. If you choose to fight, Jake added, you should know that we have been watching your ships for months. We know how they work. We know their weaknesses. And we have prepared surprises for you. Kethver looked at his tactical displays. His bioships were powerful, but they were also vulnerable. Earth's military had been studying them since they arrived. Human scientists had found ways to exploit their biological nature. "We are leaving," Cuthbert said finally. "Good," Jake replied. "When you return to your empire, tell them about Earth. Tell them that this system is protected by its children. Tell them that we offered peace once, and they chose war instead. What if they come back with a larger fleet?" Cuthbert asked. Jake smiled, but it was not a friendly expression. "Admiral, you came here with your best hunters and your finest warriors. We killed them all without using our most dangerous weapons. What do you think would happen if you brought more?" The transmission ended. Cuthbert stood in silence for Seve.